Hello! It's Wednesday, and we're going to read some more Geronimo Stilton. And it's a journey through time. You remember last time we left off at the cafe, and the guide is going to start leading them all the way to Memphis through the Sahara Desert. It's going to be an adventure. Let's continue, shall we? Where did we finish? Ooh. We left the cafe to find mice had gathered in the street to celebrate. We had made it to Memphis just in time. The Nile River had begun to overflow, and everyone was celebrating since the flooding guarantees an abundant harvest. Babiot signaled us to follow him. "Let's go," he told us. "Here's the house of life, the temple where emballers prepare the dead for eternal life. Do you want to see it?" Scampering scarabs. I didn't want to see any mummies. I'm a big scaredy mouse. But he had already opened the heavy door, and I couldn't help but look inside. My head began to spin, and I started to sweat.
"How are you feeling, Uncle?"
Benjamin said.
"You're as pale as a slice of mozzarella."
I leaned against a marble column. The column tipped over and hit a sarcophagus. Then the lid hit me in the head, boink. Ouchie, what a blow. What a whack. What a wallop. Before I passed out, I heard my cousin's voice. "Geronimo is always the same," Trap grumbled. "He'll do anything to get attention. There he goes, fainting again." When I came to, Benjamin was fanning me with a palm leaf.
"It's all right, Uncle G,"
Benjamin said sweetly.
"Everything will be okay. I'm right here."
It was still dark, but we began our trek across the desert. We walked and walked and walked. Just before dawn, Babiot suddenly stopped. "Mummified mozzarella! I've got an idea," he told us. "Why don't we take the shortcut?" "But isn't it dangerous to leave the road?" Benjamin asked, a worried look on his snout. No. It's fine," Babiot replied. You have me as a guide. I've practically memorized a complete map of the entire Sahara Desert." The sun began to rise. At 10 in the morning, it was burning. By 11, it was scorching. By noon, it was really, really scalding.
"Are we there yet?"
Thea asked Babiot. "By the shadow of the Sphinx, we'll be there in a bit," he replied with a sigh. 2 hours later, Thea asked him again.
"Are we there yet?"
"By the stones of the pyramids, we're almost there." 3 hours later, Thea asked again.
"Are we there yet?"
"By the light of the rising sun, we're just about there." Thea grabbed Babiot by the tail.
"We've been here before. I remember this rock."
Professor Von Volt stepped between Thea and the guide. "Okay, Babiot," the professor said politely but firmly. "Tell us the truth." He burst into tears. "By the curly whiskers of the Pharaoh's great-grandfather, I'm afraid we're lost." A tomb-like silence fell over the group. I began to panic, which made me very thirsty. "Trap, please pass me a little water," I whispered. "Water?" He paled. "Didn't you bring it?" "No," I replied. "You told me you were going to take care of the provisions." "I did," Trap said. "I packed the dried herring, salted beef, and brined hot peppers. But I didn't take any water." "All salty things," I shouted back. "And no water? What are you thinking? Why did I agree to come on this wacky journey through time?" We took refuge under the shade of the first palm tree we found. Once the sun had slipped behind the sand dunes, Professor Von Volt opened his bag and took out a brass instrument. "It's a sextant. It will be useful for helping us figure out where we are. He pointed the instrument towards the sky. We're very close to Giza, he announced happily. Just a few more hours and we'll be there. By dawn, we were exhausted. We had been walking across the desert for more than 24 hours, and we hadn't had a drop of water to drink. Benjamin was slowly dragging his little paws through the sand. I hoisted him up onto my back and began to trudge again.
Uncle Geronimo,
he whispered. What is it, my little cheese nip? I asked, my mouth bone dry. Benjamin didn't answer. He just pointed his finger toward the horizon. I took off my glasses and polished them on my sleeve of my jacket. When I put them back on, I saw something ahead. But what was it? Maybe it was a mirage, but I thought I saw the giant Sphinx of Giza. And behind the Sphinx was an oasis. With our last bit of remaining strength, we dragged ourselves towards the cluster of palms, sycamores, and tamarinds, where a spring of crystal clear water flowed. Water! 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 Trap announced as he dove into the pool of water. How's your nephew, Geronimo? Professor Von Volt asked. He'll be fine, Professor, I replied. I carried Benjamin to the spring and helped him take a drink. Then I gave him a tiny kiss on the top of his head. We're saved, little one, I told him. Saved. Once he had his fill, I took a drink myself. I drank and drank and drank. Ah, how good water tastes when one was thirsty. Once we had all of our fill of water, I realized how hungry I was. I could have a canteen, 20 wheels of cheese all by myself. Oh, sorry. I could have eaten 20 wheels of cheese all by myself. Faster than a cat chasing a rat, Trap hopped out of the water and scampered up a palm tree. A minute later, a bunch of dates fell on my head. Boink! Oh. Ouchie! What a blow! Oh, what a whack! What a wallop! My head began to spin, and my paws started to sweat. As I passed out, I heard my cousin grumbling. Geronimo is always the same, Trap said. He'll do anything to get attention. There he goes, fainting again. Finally, I came to. We were excited to be back in Giza at last. But our good mood was cut short when we heard someone sobbing nearby. Oh, may the scarab save me! A voice squeaked. What will the Pharaoh do to me? He'll feed me to the desert jackals. Ooh, I'm gonna wait. We're not gonna be reading on next Wednesday of Christmas Day because we'll be too busy opening our presents and eating lots of good food. So we're gonna wait until January. Oh, wait a minute. January 1st. That's New Year's Day. So we have to wait 2 weeks to find out what happens. Well, see you then. Next year, my friends.